My name is Gifford Mills, and I want to educate everybody on boundary management. And you might be thinking, what does that have to do with selling my book? Well, it really has everything to do because it is the foundation for personal and professional growth. So as we go through these slides, I'm not going to read them all to you. There's a lot of information because we only have a short time today. Feel free to take pictures of the slides so that you can reference them in the future. So as we go through, boundary management, what is it? It truly is a theory. And we have personal boundaries, we have professional boundaries, we have emotional, financial, physical, sexual, all those things. The problem is we don't always communicate our boundaries, we don't keep our boundaries, and we don't know when we need to adjust our boundaries. And that is what is important, because when you're working on your next project, your next book, your next documentary through NIMS organization, you need to be able to set those boundaries and understand what you want to do going forward. So, how many here have heard about boundary management, right? And we think we're all pretty darn good at it, right? I thought so for years, and I still think so, but I can be wrong. So, I want to first start going through my journey with boundary management. And I want to tell you a little story. And this is important because it affects me personally, it affected me professionally, and it's through those that I learned not only the benefits, but also what I needed to do to keep myself going. So we'll start in October of 2012. My mother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. She was 81 years old. It was believed that she only had about 6 months to a year to live, and we were unfortunately preparing for her to pass away. It was during that time that my father had a really freak accident. He was walking the dog, he slipped and fell and hit his head on the ice. And this was March of 2013. He had officially retired, he had been 81 years old, and he loved his job, but he loved his wife more. He was a type of man when he'd look at her and you could just see the love. But he retired because he wanted to take care of her in her last days. So it was quite shocking when we found out he had bleeding on the brain, he had to have emergency brain surgery, and it was devastating. But he did great. I was with him every day at the hospital while my other siblings were at home with my mom taking care of her, and his discharge date was moved up. This was awesome. So I was burning the candle at both ends for sure, making sure I was at the hospital, taking care of my son, taking care of things with my mom, when I got a call. And he said, "Don't come tomorrow." And I said, "Well, of course I'm gonna come." He said, "Nah, just don't come." And I'm like, "How about I come a little bit later?" And he said, "Yeah, come at noon, bring me a cheeseburger." And I said, "I'm gonna come at 8, no cheeseburger." He said, 11 cheeseburger? So we settled at 10 o'clock, and of course, much to his dismay, no cheeseburger. Well, I got a call at 9:30 that morning. "How quickly can you get here? There's been a change in his condition." I rushed. I probably broke several laws. I rushed to the hospital, and when I got there, he was intubated, and they were performing CPR. I ran to his side. I held his hand. I wiped his face, and I begged him to stay. Not just for me, but for my siblings and for my mom. Unfortunately, he did pass away. That's when I knew I had failed. I had let my family down. He was on my watch, and I let him die. So it started a little bit of a spiral in me. But then we're gonna fast forward. My mom, heartbroken, fighting not only pancreatic cancer, but she kicked that ass. I mean, she was doing good. She lasted 5 more years, but then she got dementia, and she was having a really hard time. And she passed in December of 2017. So the 2 most important people in my life, well, 2 of the 3 most important people in my life passed away. And during that time, I got involved with a relationship that was not good for me. I was not setting my boundaries because I saw an opportunity to help somebody that wasn't helping themselves. And I threw everything into that because I thought I couldn't help my dad, I failed. I couldn't help my mom, I failed. And I was taking and putting an arm's length distance from my siblings, who were all very close. But I felt they blamed me. They never did, but I felt it. I felt I wasn't doing everything that I could. So I got into a relationship where somebody did not want help And you can't help somebody who doesn't want help. And loving somebody for the wrong reasons is not healthy for you. I was not setting those boundaries. And I wasn't communicating them. When something went wrong, I would just get mad. I'd get resentful. But did I communicate that? No. Not everybody's boundaries are the same. And we have to remember that. So then, I'm thinking, I've learned from this. Nope. In 2016, I had a stroke. I was 42 years old and the best physical condition in my life. I was training for a marathon. I was great. But the stress that I was under, the worrying about everybody else and not myself, the resentment, everything I took on because I wasn't managing my boundaries. I was trying to be the perfect employee. I was trying to do everything. And I forgot myself. I forgot where I was. And again, why is this important to you? Because when you get wrapped up in a project, in your family, or you think, I gotta take care of my family and I gotta make sure that my kids got this and my husband's got this and my spouse got this, and you forget what your goals are, we gotta set those boundaries. We gotta teach them, right? So I'm like, I'm doing better. I learned. And then March 2023 hit. And that's right, I'm giving a big old F you to cancer. I was diagnosed in March of 2023, actually just weeks after I met Nim in Paris. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I went through about 18 months of chemotherapy, 5 surgeries, double mastectomy, countless fluid treatments, countless blood infusions, and I thought I had learned. Nope, I kept working. I was working a day job, I was working 40, 50 hours a week, I was doing my books, I was doing my podcast, I was trying to do speaking, but my doctor wouldn't let me fly anywhere, so that one was put on hold, because I wanted to prove I could. I mean, how many have done that? Don't tell me what to do, I'm gonna do it twice and take pictures, right? Yeah? Because you feel like you need to prove something, you start changing your boundaries. Or maybe you're a little bit too proud to ask for help. Maybe you want to prove that you can be all to everybody. You have to remember that. So I learned a lot over this probably 10-year period, 12-year period, and I thought this is going well. I've learned a lot. I changed my boundaries because before I would never let somebody in my house to help me out. My sisters, thank God they're pushy. They forced themselves into my life, and it was wonderful because I needed them. Well, during this time, I thought, okay, I'm good. My last surgery was August of 2024. It was my last surgery as of January. I'm cancer-free, so thank you, yes. So I'm like, this is great. Awesome. And then September 9th, 2024, 2 young Marines came to my house to let me know that my son, my joy, my sunshine, the thing I live for, still to this day, what I live for, that he had passed. And I thought, well, shit, there goes my boundaries again. I don't like to be vulnerable. I don't like to ask for help. I literally said to my sisters after my last surgery and said, thank God I can get rid of you guys now. But unfortunately, my light got a little bit distinguished when my son took his own life. And to say he's amazing is an understatement. So as I go through the boundary management work that I thought I was so good at, I learn I have to change them. I have to, through the seasons of my life, learn how to recreate that. Learn to, maybe I have to move my boundary here for now, for me, not for somebody else, right? And I think that's the key point, not for somebody else. You can't do it for somebody else. But you also, when you change a boundary, you have to communicate it. Like I could come up to you and give you a hug right now. Well, she might be like, oh, I don't want a hug. We have to remember, not everybody is the same. So don't assume somebody's going to know. So, why are boundary management important? And I told you my journey, not to feel sorry for me, right? But it affected me personally and professionally because I was trying to do everything, right? So I had pride, I had ego, I had all that. And when we are working on our projects, we have to take time, because otherwise we're going to affect ourselves mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, right? We're going to have emotional exhaustion that can lead to physical exhaustion that could lead, in my case, to a stroke. If we don't, we have also resentment. How many times have you got mad at a spouse or a significant other because you wanted them to do something and they didn't do it? Did you ask? Did you tell them? Or did you just assume they should know?
Come on.
So, right? I mean, it's true. Which, again, then leads to poor relationships. Because, you're my spouse. You should know I need this. You're my kid. You should know I need this. And when you're working on your books, your next projects, you have to set that time out. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But we have then decreased productivity. Because now you're mentally exhausted, emotionally exhausted, physically exhausted, and you've got resentment, you've got poor relationships. So we have to remember, adapt, right? Adapt, overcome, military, right? 100%. So the benefits, again, I'm not going to read this all to you because I think you know what the benefits are. But we forget, right? We have enhanced self-esteem when we can tell people. By communicating your boundaries, you're telling people what you want, what you need, what you deserve, and it is an act of self-care, self-love, and self-worth. And if we don't do that, we have nobody to blame but ourselves when we don't know what we want or what we need. We have reduced stress and anxiety all day, every day, right? It's promoting well-being. And if we can do those things, we can be more productive. We can be more financially ready. We can be taking on the additional steps to enforce and enhance our careers. So, strategies, right? Probably have heard some of these, and I think self-awareness, number one, don't lie to yourself. We all do it, right? And I still struggle with it. I still have to adapt to this. Clear communications, make it an I statement. When you're upset with something or you need to express what you need, or maybe when somebody's crossed a boundary, because maybe you didn't explain it, make it an I statement. I feel. Not you, when you did that to me, no, I felt. Because you can't argue with somebody's feelings, right? I mean, it is what it is. Assertiveness. Ladies, assertiveness does not equal bitchy, right? Be assertive. Because when men are assertive, we praise them. When women are assertive, be assertive. Not aggressive, assertive. Time management, right? Set hours. You're working on a project, okay, from 6 to 8. That sounds easy, but how many times do we do that? We set something off on our calendar and we're like, oh, I can move it. I mean, I did that with the gym for the past 2 months. Oh yeah, I'll go to the gym from 6 to 7. Oh, I don't need to do that. I'll move that over. Don't cancel on yourself. And a digital detox. Put the phones down. Put the computers down. Put the TV down. Stop binge watching everything on the streaming channels. Take time to, because your body, whatever you put into your body, food, water, TV, the people around you, what you read, that all builds, right? That builds. Boundary management is based on values, on your core beliefs. And that's where we need to make sure that we're surrounding ourselves with, like everybody here in this room, that founder circle, right? Make sure that you are surrounding yourself with the right people. And I said this before, but it's self-care. Boundary management is an act of self-care. It truly is. Because when we communicate what we need and what we want and what we need help with, we are caring for ourselves. Setting limits, right? No is a full sentence. You don't want to do something, you don't want to go someplace with plans to someplace, you don't have to give an excuse. No, thank you for inviting me. That's all you have to say. You don't have to make up some reason. No. And with kids and with spouses, we give them a disservice when we don't let them learn and do things on their own. This right here. So why don't we do boundary management? Because we want to be liked by everybody. It's a fear of rejection. We are people pleasers at heart. The guilt and the shame. Because when somebody says no, they're like, oh, but I really wanted you to help me. And then you feel guilty. You feel shameful. You want to please people. And then you have all this rejection. And Nobody likes to be rejected. I mean, let's be honest, right? We want everybody to like us. I'm standing up here thinking, are they nodding? Are they looking? Am I happy? But you do. You want people to like you. It's a natural. But we have to remember that what other people think about us is none of our business. That's up to them. So these are the challenges we face. But that's when we get rid of the people who aren't supposed to be in our life. When people push back because you're setting boundaries, or when you're changing boundaries, or they say, you've changed, you're not the same person. I sure hope not. I sure hope I'm different than 5 years ago, than 10 years ago, than 20 years ago. I hope I'm a different person. But those are the people that you don't need in your life, right? Those are the people that are going to be the takers. And we don't need takers. We need people who are going to believe in the relationship building. Professional boundaries, because that's why we're here. I think we all understand personal boundaries on physical, right, emotional, mental, but we need to set clear working hours. So if you've got something going on, you need to express to your spouses, your friends, your children that I need to set this time to work on this project. If I get uninterrupted time, we'll have time, and it's quality time, as opposed to looking on my phone while I'm, cheering on the game, looking on my phone. We want to be present in everything that we do. So set those clear working hours. A dedicated workspace for your writing, right? For your speaking. Have that space that when you're done, you can get up and walk away and everything's there ready for you when you need to come back. So set that up. And limit the work-related communications. So once you're done, put it away. And then spend the time with your family because they'll see, I gave her that space to do her work. Now she's giving me her time and energy when it's my turn. And that goes a long way. It truly does. And take breaks. We'll get burnt out, right? Sometimes you need to walk away from a project. I mean, how many times have you walked away when you wrote your book because it just wasn't flowing? Walk away. You get that rejuvenation. You get that energy back and the desire, and then go right for it. And last, the journey. It's a lifelong journey. That's what I found out. You learn every day about what things change and how they change and how you change. And you need to be able to adapt to them. Embrace it because it's going to be with you all your life. And last, create space to thrive, right? We don't want to just survive in life. We want to thrive. And that is so, so important. And last, you deserve it. We owe it to ourselves, and we deserve it to do this. Thank you so much. Any questions?
Please raise your hand and I'll run a mic over to you. Anyone got a question for Eric? All right, start here, sir.
Not a question, but a statement.
Yes.
The world today is full of all kinds of problems that really need to be addressed. I have a certain amount of time and energy and ability to do things. And it's very important that I learn what is mine to do and what is not mine to do. And only to concentrate on the things that fall my way that I should be addressing and not try to be concerned with the other ones. I can't fix the world.
Absolutely. You only control what you can control. Those other things, you got to let them go. You got to forget about them.
I have more of a comment than a question. One of the things I've learned, I'm a school teacher, and Lord, the guilt tripping, the gaslighting, when you say no to things, it's morally wrong to say no to something. How come it's okay to say yes? But then when you tell somebody no, it's almost like you're a bad person. And that's something I've learned to set boundaries, especially now that I'm a published author. I've let go of a lot of things. Yeah, I know sometimes my parents get I don't have tutoring sessions as much as I used to. I don't do as many competitions with my students. It's just something in my life that is happening. I've got 3 years left, of teaching. And so, to me, it is important to set those boundaries.
Yes.
And especially, it's okay to say no. It is not morally wrong.
Priorities change. Priorities change in life. And we have to be able to set those boundaries and say no.
Look how inspired they are to share based on your message. Can you tell us a little bit about what they get if they scan that code and just what they're going to be on?
So you'll be able to, and I invite all of you, your authors. I have a podcast. I would love to be able to promote your books and everything. Scan that. You'll be able to contact me, be a guest on my podcast. You'll also get all my contact information for my book that last year won the International Impact Award. And also my newest book, Cracking the Rich Code, that has been endorsed by Tony Robbins and the forward by Brian Tracy. So please reach out. I would love to have you on the show and be able to promote your stories.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and give it up for Erica Gifford Mills. Thank you so much, Erica.